Hey guys, Carl from Purple Moose Place. Today I'm taking a look at Brikks, a roll and write Tetris style game from Stronghold Games, designed by Wolfgang Warsch, a name you might recognize from games like Ganz Schön Clever, Quacks of Quedlinburg, Taverns of Tiefenthal, Wavelength, The Mind. He's on a roll, he's got a ton of great games coming out, and here's another roll and write that he's published after Ganz Schön Clever. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. Meet me down at the table, I'll show you a solo playthrough of the game, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. To set up a game of Brikks, each player receives two player sheets. First player sheet will be normal play side face up, and the other sheet will be turned face down so that you can see the shape side face up. Each player will also receive one of these clear plastic tokens and a marker. If playing with less than 4 players, you will also need to cross off a number of these energy points at the bottom of your sheet. So if you're playing with 3 players, you will cross off the energy point marked 4, and if you're playing with only 2 players, you will cross off both the 4 and the 3 energy point at the bottom of your page. In addition, starting with the player to the right of the first player, each player will choose one of the shapes in the first column to add to their player sheet at some point along the bottom of the sheet. So we start with the player to the right of the first player, adding a shape to their sheet, as you can see here. I've added the 4 square black shape down here in the corner. Then the following person in counterclockwise order will choose a different shape to add to their screen, and we will continue in counterclockwise fashion until the first player adds one of the shapes to their sheet. Again, it is worth mentioning that no 2 players may choose the same shape as their starting shape. Each player must have a unique shape at the bottom to start the game. Once that's been done, the game begins. Brikks will play out over a series of rounds until each player, or all players, have completely filled in their screen to a point where the next object is unable to be placed in their screen. Once all players have been eliminated in this fashion, the final scoring will begin, and whoever scores the highest points will be the winner of the game. So each round plays out like this. The person who is first player will start by rolling 2 dice. These dice will determine which shape is being added to your sheet. Based on the number and the color, you will use this page to see 1 black will be this shape right here. And you will place your acrylic token on that shape to show that that is the one that is being active for that round. However, the person who rolled the dice may roll a second time if they decide they don't like the shape that they rolled. If they choose to roll the dice in this way a second time, they must choose the shape that is rolled the second time. So in this case, a 1 green would give me this shape right here. And all players will place their acrylic token on that shape because all players will be adding that shape to their sheet. And the way that these shapes are added is, if you imagine as in Tetris they were falling from the top of the screen, and they will stop as soon as they hit something that would impede their movement. The shapes may be moved left or right and may be able to fit into empty holes that you have from earlier in the game, but they need to be able to fall vertically through any spaces to reach the holes that they are filling in. If they cannot, you cannot place the pieces in those spaces. They need to naturally fall into the place that they end up. If you do not like the shape that you are given, you cannot naturally rotate the shape or change to a different shape. However, you have these energy points at the bottom of your sheet. And at any point you can cross off one of these energy points to move the acrylic token 1 space left or right to change the rotation, or in some cases change the type of shape that you're placing on your sheet. And you can use any number of energy points to move this token. So if I wanted to change to this shape over here, I could spend 3 energy points to move 1, 2, 3. And that changing shape only happens for the player who's spending the energy points. In addition, you could spend 5 energy points at any time to choose any shape on the board. When placing shapes on your board, if you're able to cover one of the colored circles with a shape of the matching color, you will then circle 2 more energy points at the bottom of your sheet. If you are able to circle one of the energy points that has a purple X in it, you will cross off one of the spaces, or the space furthest to the left, on this bonus scoring track at the bottom. In addition, while you are filling in your shapes, if you're able to complete 2 lines at the same time, then you will cross off 1 X down here at the bottom, or 1 space on the bonus scoring track. If you're able to complete 3 rows at the same time, you'll cross off 2 spaces on the bonus scoring track. And if you're able to complete 4 at the same time, you will be able to cross off 4 of the squares in your bonus scoring track. So completing multiple sets of rows at the same time is a great way to score extra bonus points at the end of the game. In addition, if there is ever a time when a shape cannot be placed or you would prefer not to place it on your sheet, you have these 3 bombs off to the side. And you can start by crossing off the bomb at the top, or the highest showing bomb, to completely erase that shape and therefore not place any shape for that turn. You do not get a replacement shape in that case. You just do not write anything on your sheet for that round. And you can do that 3 times. However, you need to be careful because at the end of the game, any bombs that are remaining will score you a number of points equal to the number that is written on that bomb. So by using bombs, you are saving yourself placement, but you're also losing points that you could potentially be gaining at the end of the game. Once all players have filled in their sheets and can no longer add shapes, the end of the game is triggered and final scoring will occur. Final scoring occurs in this way. You will look at each row and you will count the number of full squares in the row. If you are able to fill in 8 squares, you will score 1 point for the row. If you have 9 squares, you will score 2 points for the row. And if you have 10 squares full, you will score 5 points for that row. For the first 5 rows, you will score exactly what the point total is for that row. For the next 5 rows, you will double your score for those rows. And finally, for the top row, you will score 4 times whatever your score is for that row. In addition to those row scores, you will also, as I mentioned, be receiving points for every bomb that you haven't used at the end of the game. You will receive points equal to the furthest left point total on your bonus scoring track. And in addition, every 2 remaining energy points that you haven't used at the end of the game will score you 1 point. We're going to get into a solo play today. So there's one small change, actually 2 small changes, one in setup and one how the game plays in the solo game. But otherwise the game is generally the same as the multiplayer. In the solo game, we're going to start with 1 extra energy point. So I'm going to start by circling this extra energy point at the bottom of the sheet. In addition, in the solo mode, you are not allowed to roll the dice more than once. So each round I'm going to roll the dice only once and I have to use what it says or use energy points to change the shape. Otherwise the game plays out exactly the same as it does in the multiplayer game. So let me go ahead and clean up a little bit and we'll get started to play. Alright, so here we go with our solo playthrough. We're going to start again by rolling the dice. And I've got a 2 red. Again, in the solo version, we are not allowed to roll a second time. So I'm going to place this token on a 2 red, and I need to use that shape. So I will drop it down here, and I will add that shape right here. Crossing those off, and we will roll again. 3 green goes there. All right, I'm going to draw that over here in the corner. Again, you cannot rotate unless you use energy points, so I'm going to try my best to fit the shapes in as they are rolled. And if we have to, we'll change things to fit things nicer. All right, 3 yellow. 3 yellow I don't like so much at this point because things have been switched up quite a bit. All right, I'm going to rotate. Yeah, all right, I'm going to use, at this point it doesn't really matter too much, but I'm going to use just 1 energy point so I don't have to use a lot to slide this here. Unfortunately, it's not black, so it doesn't match the color of that circle, but I'm still going to place it right here anyway because it fits nicely. So we place that there. And we roll again. And I've got a 2 yellow, which is already where it's placed. I don't love it, but I can put it here and it's not in the way. And again. one green. All right. I don't like that so much, but it's not the end of the world. I will place that. Yeah, I'll place that up here, like this. And then again. For black. A flat horizontal piece. I can lay it down flat, but if I lay it down flat, we have a problem here. Although I could still get one of these shapes in there, but that spot would be dead. If I put it here, I block off that corner completely. Actually, I'm going to use 2 energy in this case to slide this over to the square, and I will slot that square down here underneath that spot. That fills in very nicely, so let's stick with that. Okay, this time I've got a 4 blue, which is not great right now. I don't like it. Let's see. I could slot it under here, but that blocks off those 3, and I don't like that at all. I'm going to pay 2 energy. I might regret using all of this energy so quickly, but putting it there means I can put it here. I waste that yellow, but I get credit for this blue here, so I will circle 1 more energy for having done that. I'm sorry, 2 more energy. You get 2 every time you do that, which means I get to cross off my first square in the bonus track. And this time I've got a 1 black, which is another square. Yeah, I'm starting to think I might just have to give up on that bottom. I'm going to call this square a loss, and I will put the block right here. Like that. I roll a 1 green, which looks like that. I have 2 energy. I could slide that over, but I don't like covering that yet. 1 green is flat. I don't like this. Well, I could use 2 energy to do that. I could put it there. All right, let's just sacrifice something somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to use 2 energy. It means I'm not going to be able to score multiple lines this time, but I'm going to drop it right down into that hole like that. And we've got a 4 blue, which is again not great at all, and I have no energy. So we've either got to use it, blow it up, or nothing else. And I think this might be my first use of a bomb. I would really love to start rolling some whites. Oh, there we go. We got a 3 white, which is not the shape I wanted, and I don't have any way to rotate it. I was hoping it would fit in there, and a 2 white would be perfect. But I can't. All right, so let's fit it somewhere. Yeah, that's a shame. I need some energy badly. And I don't think I'm going to use that. Yeah, this yellow is dead too, because I'll never have a yellow that's long enough to get in there. I'm not playing very well this game, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't want to blow it up, but that's a shame because I'm going to lose that white spot. But we will check off like that. I got a 4 green. Again, I don't have any way to manipulate things unless I bomb it. 4 green is not the one I want. A 3 green would have been perfect in here. Yeah, I'm going to have to say bomb on that one. Oh, there's my 3 green. Perfect. Okay, so we fill in this hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get 2 more energy points, which will be very helpful. And we do not complete 2 rows because unfortunately this white one is still empty. So that's closing off a row, but doesn't score me bonus points, unfortunately. Sorry, that was 3 green. Next, we have a 1 yellow. 1 yellow looks like that, which we can easily put right here. Next one. 3 white. 3 white is not what I want to see, but I can do now. I finally got some energy again, so I will slide that to a 2 by using 1 energy. And then we can place that here, which will get me 2 more energy points, which gets me another X down here. And a 3 white again, which is not great. But I will switch it to a 4 white by using 1 energy, because then the 4 white fits perfectly right in here. Okay. 4 yellow. 4 yellow. I don't like 4 yellow. I'm going to use energy again to change that to a 3 yellow. We're going to lose a hole, but I'm going to fill this in right here. Yes. Two yellow. I don't have any flat spots that I'm okay covering. And I only have 1 energy left, so I'd rather not spend it. But anything we do with that is going to hurt, but that's okay. We'll place it here. Not optimal, but it covers some spaces. We got another gap in there, unfortunately. Again, 3 yellow. Which does not make me hugely happy either. 3 yellow. Well, I don't want the game to end. And I'd rather not use a bomb if I can avoid it. Yeah, but if I leave those 2 open, and I'll get 4 points for my bomb, but I'm going to lose some points. Yeah, well, let's do it anyway. No. It's tricky. All right, I'm going to use the bomb. And I will roll again for a 3 white, which is the down looking one. That's not great, but I will use an energy to use this 4. And again, I'm going to lose a space, but it's less space is lost than it would have been with that yellow one. So that's okay, I suppose. We roll again. 3 green. 3 green. 3 green is not great as far as colored circles go, but it does fill in all of this except for that yellow piece. And that would be 2 rows, except unfortunately I didn't cover that red one, so that's not going to get me any bonuses either. All right, so we roll again. And we've got a 2 blue, which at this point I'm going to use to cover this blue. It's going to kill that corner space, but it will get me the extra energy points for blue, and I do get to cross off one more of these because of that X there. So not the end of the world. All right. 1 yellow. 1 yellow is not bad. We'll put that right here. Okay, we roll again. 3 blue. 3 blue is not going to fit very well. A red would have been great. A blue is not so great. Well, I'm going to use 1 energy to change to this one, and then I can put it, I don't like that, but I'm going to have to put it somewhere. I'll put it here, like that. Blue does not activate that black circle, unfortunately. And we roll again and we get a 1 red, which is the opposite of that blue. 1 red is not going to fit anywhere. It will, not nicely, but it fits there. And we roll again. If I can get a 3 yellow, 3 green, or 3 white, we can place. Otherwise, that might be the end of the game. I roll a 3 green, which is perfect-ish. Oh, wait a minute. If I roll a 3 green, yes, sure. I'm going to cross off this to move that to a 2 green. Then we fill in here instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do manage to cover a green, so I get 2 more energy points. I didn't reach the next X, unfortunately, so I don't cross off more bonus scoring. And there are no more shapes that will fit on the sheet, so we are done. So we enter into final scoring. I'm going to zoom in on the sheet, and then we can look at how the game scores. All right, so here's the final sheet, and let's go through scoring. We start with each row. This row is 1 missing, so that's 9. I get 2 points. This is full, which is 5 points. This is 1 missing, 2 points. That one is full, 5 points. This one has 2 missing for 8 filled, means 1 point. Now we're in doubles, so this is missing 1, means I have 2 times 2 is 4 points. The next one is completely full. 5 times 2 is 10 points. Oops, 10. The next one is missing 1, which is 2 times 2, 4 points. The next one is missing 3 spaces, so nothing. The next one has 1 hole, which is 2 times 2 is 4 points. And unfortunately, the top is missing 4, so that is 0 points. We unfortunately used all 3 of our bombs, so we don't get any scoring from that. But we do have this 6 right here will give us 6 bonus points. And we do have 2 energy points left, so that will be +1. So 4 and 4 is 8, and 10 is 18, and 4 is 22, 23, 28, 30, 35, 37, 38 for the bonus, and 6 is 44 points. Let me count that up one more time in the other order. 1 plus 6 is 7, 8, 9, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 26, 36, 44 points is our total score. So we finish again with a 44-point total score. Now in the solo mode, when you are done, you're going to take a look at the back of the rulebook, and there is a table here that you can compare your score to see how you did. And unfortunately, this game I did very poorly. I've got less than 60 points, so they say, is this your first time? No, it's not my first time, and it's actually the lowest I've ever scored, but sometimes that's going to happen. Now, while we're down here, let's take a look at what we've got for components. So you've already seen, let me zoom out just a little bit further. You've already seen the sheets. One side is the scoring side and one side is the shape side. Now, this is a 4-player game, so realistically they could have included 4 sheets that look like this and made all of the scoring sheets double-sided like this so that you could be scoring twice for each sheet that you have. You do get a stack of quite a few sheets, but it seems silly to me that all of the sheets have the shapes on the back when really you only need 4 pieces of paper that have those shapes on it for the 4 players who are playing. So I think that is a little bit of a missed opportunity that you don't get scoring opportunity on the back. In addition, every single sheet is exactly the same front and back, so there is no variability in the way that things are laid out, only on the starting shape that you choose and of course how the shapes come up through the game. The game does come with those clear plastic acrylic tokens. I am a little concerned that they're completely clear and not colored at all, because they do kind of disappear a little bit at quick glance. I mean, they're not hard to see, but they are also somewhat easy to miss if you're not looking for them. So I think a little bit of color, or a black edge or something about this piece to sort of make it a little bit clearer on the board. I understand they didn't want to cover the shape, but they could have put it in a way that it points to the shape or something along those lines, just to make it a little bit clearer. But otherwise, it's not a problem. The markers are a little small. I don't know how long the ink in them will last, but they fit nicely in the box, and they didn't really need to give markers because I'm sure everybody has pens or markers laying around at home. But of course, it's nice to have them in the box so you can have them if you take the game somewhere to play. The dice that come with the game, again, you get a 4-sided die with numbers on it and a 6-sided die with colors on it. The 6-sided color die I'm completely happy with. There might be an issue with color blindness, but that's true for any game that has colors like this. I mean, I guess they could have put a symbol or something on each side to make it a little bit clearer, but it is what it is, and I assume as long as one person in the game is not colorblind, everybody's playing off of the same die, so you can basically just point it out to somebody which shape it is they need to work with, even if the color is not 100% clear. So I don't have any real issue with that. The 4-sided die, my complaint is it's a 4-sided die. I understand they have 4 columns and they need 1 to 4, but I'm not a big fan of 4-sided dice. They don't really roll very well. I kind of wish it would have been, say, a 12-sided die with 3 of each number on it, because that would roll a whole lot nicer. But it is what it is. I understand why they chose a 4-sided die. I'm just personally not a fan of 4-sided dice. Aside from that, the insert for the box is just this. The dice and the tokens and the pens go inside the recessed area. The pad sits on top, and the box closes, as a box closes. The cover of the game is a picture of the game. It does exactly what it needs to do. I have no complaints about the design or the visuals of the game. I do like that the score sheet looks like a video game console, because this is clearly based on Tetris, so that flavor brings in a nice little, character to the game. So that's basically it for the components. Meet me back up top and we'll talk about what I think about the game. Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. I do apologize that I did so poorly in the playthrough, but it was still a fun time, and I think I showed you all of the aspects of the game, so I hope you enjoyed your time with the playthrough. That being said, let's talk about what I think about the game. This game is Tetris on paper with dice, and I like Tetris, and I like games on paper with dice. So I will straight up tell you right away, I enjoy this game quite a bit. It is what it is, right? It's a very light, quick, simple roll and write game. But it's Tetris, and we all love Tetris. And I really like the way that this is put together. It really does play like Tetris, right? The dice roll is giving me a shape that I need to fit in, and I need to fit it in the best way that I can. It's interesting that you can't rotate the pieces like you can in Tetris without using these energy points, but that's great because it's forcing you to try hard to fit the exact piece you've got in any way that you can. And it's also forcing you to try and use those shapes to cover those colored circles of the right color in order to allow yourself some of that rotation ability as you move forward. And I think that's cool. If you were able to rotate, it would probably be a little bit too easy, and I'm okay with that challenge. I do really enjoy the way the game plays. I like that you have those bombs that are there for you if you need them, but that you have to struggle with whether or not to use them, because when you use them, you're keeping yourself from getting the scoring points at the end of the game, and that's an interesting decision piece for me. It adds one more little layer to the game, and that's nice. The completion of lines comes straight out of Tetris, right? The bigger group of lines you can clear, the more points you got in Tetris, and in this case, the more bonus points you can check off. I didn't happen to do any of those in this playthrough, and to be honest with you, I've always been bad at getting any more than 2, maybe 3 rows cleared in a regular game of Tetris as well. So it may just be I'm not very good at these kinds of games, but I still really enjoy playing this game. If there's any cons to the game, it's randomness. But it's a roll and write game, you expect some randomness going in. But you could just keep rolling shapes that fit perfectly, colors that match your colored circles perfectly, and have a really good high scoring game. Or you could roll really poorly and have a really low scoring game like the one you just saw in this playthrough. Does it matter to me? Not really, because the challenge is still there, the gameplay is still there, and it's still a fun puzzle whether you succeed or don't succeed. And now the solo mode is a sort of beat your own high score, but they do at least give you a ranking system so you can sort of compare to make sure that you've at least gotten to a certain level in the game. And I like that. I'm not a fan of beat your own score, but I like beat your own score in this case when there's a goal that I can achieve. And there is no sort of threshold here, although I guess you can call that less than 60 the threshold, that you got to clear 60 to beat the game. And then beyond that, you give yourself a ranking based on where you land. And yeah, I'm okay with that. It's not the best. If I could compete against an AI, that would be great. But the amount of design that would need to go into that for a simple, quick roll and write game, it's not really necessary. And this plays fun, and it's quick, right? If I have a bad game like I did just now, I can flip over another sheet and start right away and get through another game in no time. And the second time, I'm going to have a completely different set of pieces to place based on the different random dice rolls that come up, and the experience is going to be different every time. So sometimes I'm going to have a great time, sometimes I might have a slightly less than great time, but overall, on average, I'm going to enjoy myself every time I play this game. Will it come out all the time for solo play? Maybe not. But looking at the multiplayer game, this is a fun roll and write to play multiplayer for sure. There is also a 2-player duel mode that you might recognize from Tetris, where when you clear lines, you're adding junk to the other player's sheet, and that's here as well. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but that's interesting as well. So if you're a fan of roll and writes, if you like Tetris, this is the roll and write for you. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend you check it out. I think the level of difficulty is good for anyone and everyone to enjoy. Yeah, I can't say anything more. Check out Brikks. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.